Okay, so I start with opening up the energy field. Bring in light. Expand the energy field. Expanding the energy field helps to hold more light in the system, and also more awareness comes with that as well. So I'm expanding. Then I fill up the expanded space with more light. Then I clear surface energies. Surface energies are just emotions that have been triggered over the past hours. And they're basically floating around the top of your system, and we don't need them for the session. So I'm clearing them. Then I also clear energies out of the mind, so thoughts. And I clear the random thoughts. So there are two kinds of thoughts, the personal thoughts and the random thoughts. And the random thoughts are when energies flowing through the system on the mental level, they form thoughts. And they personalize. So it seems like they're your own personal thoughts, but they're not. So we don't need them. And eventually there can be a time where they're fully dissolved. So you never have random thoughts, which is quite nice. And you probably know them, when you think about something and then a story gets formed and it forms the story by itself. So these are the random thoughts. I'll clear them now. Okay, then I work on the brain, clear low vibrational energies out of the brain, also toxins and metals, just stuff that got stored in your system over your lifetime and hasn't been detoxed yet, basically, because we want to have the brain as clear as possible for perceiving this reality. And also, yeah, it's responsible for all the body functions and everything. So we want to have a clear brain. So clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it. Then I put in the energy of balance. And the energy of love, light, and truth, the highest vibrations. Okay. Then I clear the pineal gland. Pineal gland is a small part of the brain, sits in the middle of the head. And it helps us for being more open, more aware, more conscious. So I'm clearing it from blockages and calcification. And then I activate it. Then I open up the central energy channel, which is located in the middle of your energy field and then also in the middle of your body. Goes from the root to the crown chakra, and this is where life energy flows through the system. And we experience life as life energy flowing through our system. So every experience we have, like with the senses, the thoughts, the mind, so everything that gets activated when life energy flows out through our system, gets activated because of that. So that's why we want to expand the central channel, that more life energy can flow. So in a lot of systems, so let's say people who don't meditate and don't do healing work, there is not so much life energy flowing. And the more we meditate, the more we connect to higher frequencies and clear the system, the more life energy can flow. And also, all low vibrational energies in our systems, or in general energies in our systems that are held there, use up life energy. So every time we clear something, more life energy is available. And we are working towards a certain goal, basically living in the present moment. And why do we not live in the present moment all the time? Because our system has a mechanism. Basically what happens is our body remembers on a mental level, so with the thoughts, and on an emotional level, so we have an emotional memory. So when we have an experience, we live through it, right? So we experience with all our senses, thoughts, and emotions. And then the emotional memory of the body stores this experience. So for example, if you think back to something that happened a while ago, let's say 3 months ago, something you didn't like at all, and you start thinking about this experience, then basically the emotions that are stored in the system, they get triggered again, and you feel them in the present moment. So they get drawn into the present moment, and then you live through them again, as if you had this experience in this moment. So you basically tap into the past and bring the past into the present moment. And the same happens with the future. So we project the past experiences into the future. So if we think, should I do this or that? And we kind of have done both before, we kind of look into our past experiences and see which one we preferred more. And then we probably choose that, which is just something our system does, but we can never really know how the future is going to unfold. So we cannot, it's just an illusion, we don't know. And basically by doing this work, what happens is that this mechanism starts to break down, the mechanism that stores emotions in the system. And that means eventually when a life experience is happening, which is happening all the time, so it's like a flow. So we have a constant energy flow through our system with a constant life experiences happening, one after the other. It's just unfolding. Then we only can experience emotions and all of that. So they will stay. We will experience them always in the present moment. They are there. And when basically the experience is over, then they're leaving our systems and the next one comes in and so on. So there is no holding on to these emotions anymore. And this is when we can truly live in the present moment because nothing else exists. Yeah. Okay. So I'm accelerating your life energy, that you have more energy available. and basically holding the ego in the forefront, or the identification with the small self, for example, it uses up a lot of energy. Just keeping the emotional memories, they're just emotional memories, in place. So also by eventually losing the identification with the small self and with the ego can step in the background. Around so much life energy is available suddenly. Yeah, it's actually it's profound. It's a profound difference. Okay. So help the life energy to flow more. So it flows from the root chakra up to the crown chakra, falls back left and right in 2 half circles and flows up again. Just help that flow. Okay. Then I open up energy channels. So we have multiple energy channels all over our system. And by clearing them and opening them up more, I bring in then more light into the system, because we're filling up the system today with as much light as possible. So clear the one on top of the head. Expand it. Then one on the forehead. Clear it. Expand it. One is on the back of the head. Clear it. Expand it. Then heart chakra, okay. Clear surface energies out of the heart chakra. Expand it. Back of the heart chakra on your back. Clear it. Clear surface energies. Expand it. Then solar plexus chakra on the front. So clear surface energies out of the solar plexus chakra. Expand it. And then on the back of the solar plexus, clear surface energies. Then expand it. Okay, and then I connect it directly to the light of the Divine Mother through the top of the head, the forehead, the back of the head, the heart chakra, back of the heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, and the back of the solar plexus chakra. And I pull a cocoon of light on top of your system down to your feet, and let this light fill up your system for about 2 minutes. And open up the energy field more. Bring in more light. Always when I open up your energy field more, the light can enter deeper layers. And then I work on the nervous system. So the nervous system is important for perceiving energies, and every system is different. So how it feels like and how the energy basically shows itself is very different for every system, or can be different. So, and also it helps, so refining the nervous system helps to hold more light in the system and also higher levels of consciousness. So first, I'm clearing the nervous system. Then healing the nervous system. Then strengthening the nervous system. And then expand the capacity to hold more light and higher levels of consciousness. And open up the energy field more. Bring in more light. Then open the chakras. Crown chakra first. Third eye chakra. Throat chakra. Heart chakra. Solar plexus. Sacral chakra. And root chakra. I'm working with the chakras, but they are just a representation of energies that are stored in the system. So it's just a way of working. And it doesn't necessarily mean if I clear something out of a specific chakra that the energies are stored exactly there. It's possible, but it doesn't have to be like that. And also I will speak words out loud multiple times, and this is also a way of clearing. So by speaking them. All right. Okay, first I start with cutting off ancestral influences. So it's only emotional influences, everything else stays. So all emotional influences from grandparents backwards, because we live in the highest vibrational time humanity has ever lived in. So everything before that basically is lower vibrational, just because of the vibration of where people lived in was just lower. So I'm just going to cut off the emotional influence first. So from grandparents backwards, because we don't need any influence from anybody. We want to have a very as clear a system as possible, so that we can tune into our own intuition, to our own beingness, to the knowledge that's there, to the wisdom, to all of that, because it's already, everything is there. So it's really in your system, it's already there. It's just a question of, can I access it or not? And if you can't access it, it just means there's stuff in the way. That's all. So also send healing to the ancestors. And I just clear this influence out of your system. And basically the influence starts when we are born and is there of all our lives until it's stopped. So it's basically there all the time. And it takes up to 8 months to fully leave the system. So it just takes some time to leave the system, because we were exposed through our whole lifetime. Okay. So then I clear mental concepts. Mental concepts are just understandings we gained on a mental level around awakening. And of course, some understandings are really good. The mind needs some understanding, that's totally fine. I'm just going to clear the ones that are in the way, what I see are in the way at the moment, that basically hold us back, or there are just misunderstandings there. Okay, so I'm just going to clear what I'm shown. So first I clear, the mental understanding can come from books, from, sharings from people, from stories, from just imagination of our minds. So could come from anywhere. So I clear them out of the mind. So I clear worries around that life is going to change, life experience is going to change, it's going to change maybe to a negative, maybe people around you. So when you climb up the path of awakening, or that the levels of consciousness, that maybe people who are important to you don't like you anymore, they don't want to be around you anymore, they don't see you the same as they did before anymore, but more in a negative way. So it's always fear-based, or it has like a negative, it comes from a negative point of view. That awakening is going to change your life experience again to the worse. That your experience of life is not that nice anymore. That you have to give up things that are important to you, like family, friends, hobbies, job. That your free will is influenced, or that you don't have a free will anymore. That you feel like something else is overtaking, which is not just part of you, is more freed up. So that's the difference. Okay. I look what's more coming up on the mental level, because I already see a lot of fear arising. There's a lot of fear coming up. But first, we finish the mental. Concerns about experiences you don't prefer, experiences that that cause pain and suffering, experiences that, yeah, you wouldn't have wanted, shifts that you wouldn't have wanted. Clear this. Then especially around relationships, so that relationships are going to change towards your friends, your family, children, partner, husband and wife, so that there is change happening in that area. Again, towards the negative, because this is how our system is working. So basically the core fear is always the core instinct is the survival instinct. So it operates on fear. So basically everything that we imagine, you know, on that level, and fear is in play. Of course, it's always negative, but it wants to protect us. So it basically says, don't do it because this might be the outcome, this might be the outcome. And it always shows us basically a negative outcome so that we don't go there. But the fear just wants to protect us. In the end, what I put, so I cleared a lot of it now out of the mind. Going to clear the fear out of the root chakra. So I clear fear out of the root chakra. Fears around what I just shared. So fear of the unknown, fear of what it means to shift into a high level of consciousness, fear of like this open space, this infinite space, fear of the nothingness, fear of the infinite, yeah, fear of the infinite and fear of the nothingness. See, there's a lot there. And what does it mean? What does it mean for my system? Do I even like it? Heart chakra. Heart chakra is always the identification with these emotions. Will I like it? Will it feel natural? Will I be okay with what's happening? Will I be able to handle the changes, the shifts? So I clear that out of the heart chakra. Then root chakra again, I clear more fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unknown, fear of the, let's call it the darkness. So it's the unknown, but it's like more the infinite. So there's just a lot of fear around this. And it's very natural because the human is basically in a corset. It's very tight and it kind of feels familiar, right? So we know everything and everything is always the same, and we know we want to get rid of it, but at the same time we feel comfortable in it. And this is then just where, yeah, fears come up. What does it mean when this corset is gone? What does it mean when there is space, when there is clarity, when there's no boundaries anymore? So clear these fears, clear the fear of not experiencing the tightness anymore, and in general having a change in experience. So clear that fear, having a change in experience of who you are. But to become more of what you really are is always very natural. Yes, the shifts can be, different for everybody. The unfolding can be different. For some people, it can be more subtle. For some people, it can be more profound. So that can vary from person to person. But in the end, when this then integrates, it feels very natural really quickly, because that's what we are on the core. So how can it not feel natural? So everything that's unfolding for us, every higher level of consciousness, every opening, every expansion, it's basically we become more of that what we already are. So it's all natural and nothing can happen. It's all safe. So I also clear third chakra, not feeling safe around this process. So just clear it. around the energy, not feeling safe, and heart chakra. Again, identification. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't know what it means. 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 I don't know what it really means. I don't know. 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 Okay. Root chakra. Clear more fear. Fear of expansion, fear of expansion, fear of expansion, fear of the infinite, fear of the infinite, fear of the infinite, fear of the infinite. And the thing is, we only have a mental concept of what that means. So we only have a mental concept of, I mean, some have experienced, maybe tapped into that, or you experience it in meditation, right? So basically, when you meditate and just the mind quiets down, or let's say you're not disturbed by thoughts, because thoughts can still arise, and you just fall into this infinite space, that's really what it is. It's very simple. Just a space where the boundaries dissolve, the limitations dissolve, the small self dissolves, the ego steps in the background. So it's all very, very simple and natural. And that's why we meditate. So when we meditate, we tap into that all the time. And that's just what it is. Okay, clear more fear out of the root chakra. Fear of letting go of limitations, and fear of letting go of the known, fear of letting go of the known, fear of letting go of the known, fear of letting go of the known and the familiar. And even though if the familiar is uncomfortable, there is still a holding on to that. There is still a holding on to the familiar. That's typical for a human system. We just prefer the known. We don't like changes so much. I mean, depends on the system, but most systems prefer the known. Okay, so I clear out of the mind level again the understanding that something bad or negative can happen when you move forward on a path of spiritual awakening, that something can happen that you don't prefer, and that's actually limiting you and your life experience. Okay, so clear this. Okay. Trust comes in. Trust, trust, trust. So just the energy of trust is manifesting right now in your system. It just comes in to, yeah, give every cell of the body the information that trust, if trust is there, everything can just unfold how it needs to unfold, and that's perfect how it is. So that's what the trust does. So we bring in more trust, 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 trust. Also put trust into the heart chakra and fill up the heart chakra with trust. So trust towards the process of awakening. Trust that everything will unfold in the exactly the way how it's supposed to unfold for your system, so you can listen to other people's experiences and read about them and all of that, but yours will be definitely different, because everybody's experience is different and everybody's experience is exactly how it's supposed to be for you. So for example, there are people, you know, who live a very exciting life and they climbed Mount Everest and they, I don't know, bungee jump and all of that. So their system just needs more, how do I say it, more excitement. So those people are more likely to have, you know, more profound experiences, because that's just what their system needs. And people who are the opposite, their experiences can be very subtle, because they don't need it in that kind of way. So just saying, everybody's very different and everybody gets exactly what they need. And I put this trust into the heart chakra. Trust, trust, trust. Your system knows exactly what it needs. And that's exactly what you get. You can trust that. Okay. Again, more fear is rising, such as clear more fear, root chakra. Fear around letting go, fear around letting go, fear around letting go of things that are dear to you, fear around letting go of things that are important, like family, friends. So letting go of that. So there is also this misunderstanding. Letting go, so basically surrender, doesn't mean that you actually have to let go anybody or anything. You don't. It's just energetically the holding on to the things in your surrounding. That's what needs to go, and this is where surrender is needed. And everything or most things will stay. So if these things are of your highest truth, they will stay anyways. And if things are, the more of your highest truth you experience, the more you will draw things into your life that's of your highest truth. So it actually gets a lot better. Life experience gets a lot better. Things that are arising will definitely more resonate with you and with what you want and need. And things that are not of your highest truth, they can just slowly fall away. And it might be uncomfortable at first, it might be sudden, but then looking back, you will always know why, and why it was for your highest good. So yeah, so clear more of the fear, clear more of the fear of letting go, more of the fear of letting go of things that are important to you. Clear more of this fear, root chakra, more of this fear, more of this fear, more of this fear. Clear more of it, 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 more of it. Heart chakra. I don't want to let go. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to let go of things that I like. I don't want to let go of things that I don't like, but it feels familiar. And I like familiar. I like the familiar. It's more important to me to have the familiar in life than to have the unknown in my life. So clear that. That's very typical human system. So no worries there, but it's not needed. So we clear it. There was always parts of us that are holding on to these energies. So I'm gonna clear these parts. So first the part that is fearful of the infinite. Like I said, when you meditate, you always tap into that. So you already know what it is. It's just the mind makes up stories. And then the system reacts with fear or worries or whatever. Then the part that holds on to the familiar, to the known. Clear it. That part that prefers to feel comfortable, and that's holding back. Heal it. Clear it. The part that holds on to the fear of letting go of things that are important to you. Again, that's a misunderstanding. It's just energetically letting it go, because then it can stay if it wants to stay. Yeah. Open up the energy field more. Bring in more light. Okay. Then fundamentally, on the core of these fears is the fear of dying. So you probably have heard losing the small self can feel like dying. And this is, of course, a fear in the system. And also losing then, so there are two shifts. There is the small self. Basically, that gets dissolved when you shift into unity consciousness. And then there is all that is, let's just say the big self, that then dissolves when you shift into Brahman. So always, first we identified with the small self, then basically it's not so much identification, but an experience with the big self that falls away as well. And there is fears around dying. That's the core fear that's behind there, if there is a holding back. So I clear this fear, clear the fear of dying, fear of dying, fear of dying, fear of dying, fear of dying. And I have to say, most people don't experience it as dying. And if you do, it's just an experience you don't. So no worries there. Clear it, root chakra. Clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it. So I clear the fear of dying, 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 clear of the fear of dying, clear the fear of dying, clear the fear of dying, more of it, 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 more of it. It's a big one that's holding on. And then specifically clearing the fear of losing the small self, which is also known and familiar. So there's fear around this fear of losing the small self because there's the misunderstanding that it dies, but it basically just dissolves. So yeah, it's a concept. So clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it. And then also the fear of the nothingness, the Brahman. Clear it, 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 clear it. So if your aspiration and the seeking for truth is so strong, otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? Then you just want to go there no matter what. This is just how it is. And that's perfect. So yeah, then it doesn't matter that parts of us dissolve in the end. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, then I look into past life influences around, so specifically the fear of dying, and specifically, yeah. So first of all, I share two past lives. They're just a representation to see how these energies are influencing, and then I clear the rest of the past lives that are influencing at the moment your system and what are available all at once. So the two of them are just basically stories. Yeah. So I look at the first one. Okay, there is a misunderstanding in this life. So it's basically, yeah. So I see a young man living at a time where religion was so, religion in that case was very much around, and he was very religious. And basically the belief, and possibly that is there today as well, I don't know, but at that time was dying for others, dying for others. So in like in the way of helping others, but dying for others is going to free your soul in that kind of way. So that was just a belief. And he, yeah, actually because this came up because he was in a situation where, I don't know what the English word is. So people could basically in a ritual decide to die for the ritual and to be like this, I don't know what it's called, this yeah, to be the one that dies for everybody else, so that this soul gets freed up and everybody else gets blessings or whatever. So it was like in a ritual situation. Yeah, anyways, so I'm healing that. Clear it out of the system, clear the system. Look into the next one. Yeah, so here it was similar. So dying in the name of God, and here it was in a war. So these people, so I also see a young man, went into a war or were in a war situation, and everybody who died, basically they died in the name of God. That was just their belief. And they felt, if that's happening, I mean, there was a lot of fear around this and all of that, but they felt kind of this is the right thing. So the aim was there to that, but they actually physically died. So also misunderstanding. So I'm healing it. So it has nothing to do with physical death, but that was just the understanding of that time. Okay, clear the rest of the past lives that are influencing. Clear it. And then also look into 2 past lives around being fearful of letting go of the unknown, of the known, sorry, of the known. So basically a clinging to the known, and it's this clinging energy that we want to clear. So I look at the first past life. Okay, basically just very desperate life of again, see a young man. And his belief was, he was basically hoarding everything, hoarding things and holding on to people, family members, everybody in his life, because this was just how his system functioned. So he thought holding on to everything tightly, tidy, or in a tight way, only then things stay there. So he thought if he's not holding on to things, they will just leave him. So that was a total misunderstanding. That's the energy influence. I'm healing it. So only things would go if they are not of our highest truth, and then we don't need them anyways. So clear that. So always past life healings bring in a lot of light in the system, because there's a lot more space, because these influences, they influence a lot. So take up a lot of space. So when I clear them, a lot of new space is there, a lot of more light can flow, the energy field expands. So I look at the second one. Okay, second one was a similar one, where the person, also a man, was holding on to goods. So gold, a whole lot of treasure, really like treasure stuff. Again, he thought if he's not like holding on to that and like defending it and all of that, he will just lose his fortune and he will be poor in that kind of way. So a total misunderstanding again, healing it. Again, frees up the system a lot. So this also, it's not just for, so what I say, letting go of things and then they stay, is on the one hand, yes, with people, jobs, family, friends, and all of that, but also goods, of course. So also goods. Heal the rest of the lives all at once. Clear it. Open up the energy field more. Bring in more light. Okay, and then I'm going to look at the timeline at the time when it's a natural thing a human system does, but when the time started, so I look at the time when the building of an identification started, the identification with the small self. So I look when it started at the first time. Heal it, cure it. And then I look at 2 more times when just everything we do in life basically enhances and makes the identification stronger, except if we work against it, like meditating, healing, and stuff like that. But I'm just going to look at 2 more times on your timeline when just certain things happened that made the identification just even stronger with the small self. Mostly around happens around fear-based experiences. So look at the first one. Clear it. And the second one. Clear it. And then I look at the first time when the system decided letting go of things is not a good idea, basically. So surrendering is not, the opposite of surrender is happening. The holding on. So look at the first time. Heal it and clear it. The second time, or a major second time, heal it and clear it. A third time. And basically by healing and clearing the first time, so that's the root cause, and the same energy just gets triggered over and over again with a different story, and then it again gets stuck in the system. That all the other energies that were triggered around the same, from that same energy, start to break down. So it's basically like a plant. We cut the root cause, the root, and then the rest of the plant starts dying. That's the same here. It's a process, but it's then happening. And then I will help you to increase the surrender level. Surrender is very important on the path of awakening because this is probably one of the most important parts. I mean, there are many important ones, but this is one of the most important parts. And surrendering means basically saying yes to life experience, allowing life to unfold how it's unfolding. And yes, you have your free will. You can totally do whatever you want in that range. But life is just unfolding as well. And by just saying yes, even though we don't prefer the content, but just having this way of saying yes to life, having an open system, allowing things to happen. We can then change with our free will, we can change things, but just having this openness there towards life, that's important. And then surrendering. So surrendering, first of all, to life experience, and then also basically giving away things we don't need anymore because we see it's a limitation. It's a belief we have, it's a limiting belief. It's an energy we have in our system that is not serving us, that is limiting us. So giving away all of that. Also, like, for example, the fears, the fear of moving forward, the fear of letting go of things, the fear of losing things that are important to us, for example, can be all surrendered because it's all just misunderstandings. So it's not serving us. And so I'm going to help with that so that the surrender is just going to be a lot easier. So I'm increasing the surrender level. And it's interesting because when I do that, I right away see parts that pop up and say, no, no, don't want to. So I'm going to clear them. I'm going to clear the parts that don't want to surrender. Heart chakra. I don't want to surrender. I don't want to. 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 I want to have things my way. I want to have things my way. I want to have things my way. I don't want to allow life. I don't want to allow life, and I don't want to allow things happening. I want to be in control. 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 I want to be in charge. I want to be in charge. I want to be in charge. I don't want anybody else. By the way, it's nobody else, but it's just a misunderstanding. I don't want anybody else to what's the word? Yeah, to basically live through me or live my life. So clear it, heart chakra. Second chakra, resistance, 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 resistance. A clear resistance towards surrender, resistance towards surrender, resistance towards surrender, and resistance towards experiencing more of your natural truth, of your true nature, of your beingness. So clear more resistance, 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 resistance. Clear resistance around that. Resistance, 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 resistance. Clear resistance, 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 resistance. More, 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 more. More resistance towards surrender. More resistance towards surrender. More resistance, more resistance, more resistance, more, more, more. Okay. Clear it. Heart chakra again. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't. Heart chakra is always identification. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to change. I don't want to change. I don't want to surrender. I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up. Again, it's a misunderstanding. You're not giving up, but I don't want to give up. 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 I don't want to give anything up. I don't want to give anything up. I don't want to. Don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. Again, increasing the surrender level, and then we'll see what comes up. What doesn't prefer to surrender? Yeah, okay. Then I clear the part that holds on to the misunderstanding that you are giving up, that you are giving up. So surrender doesn't mean giving up. So I'm healing it. Clear it. And also that your free will is basically taken away. So I heal that. Okay. Look more, give you more surrender level. Okay, feel more resistance. Third chakra, second chakra, more resistance to the surrender. More resistance, more resistance, more resistance, more resistance, more of it, more resistance. Resistance towards, yeah, just basically it's very simple. Not wanting to surrender. Not wanting to fully let go. So there's resistance around this. Resistance, 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 resistance. Heart chakra again. I don't want to surrender. I don't want to surrender. I don't want to. 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 Because I don't see the I don't see what's in it for me. I don't see what's in it for me. I don't see what's in it for me. I don't see the, yeah, I guess what's in it for me. That's the best way to describe it. Clear it, clear it, clear it, clear it. And there is truly nothing in it for the part that I was just clearing. So the part that thinks there is something in it or there's nothing in it for you, there is actually nothing in it for you. So it's right, because we're dissolving that part. We're dissolving the part that either wants something or doesn't want something. And then it's just, yeah, the openness is there, the clarity. Okay. So I'm going to strengthen your connection to your true nature, to the beingness level. So I'm strengthening that it's easier for you to access it, to also bring it forward in, let's say, meditation or in your everyday life experience, just to have a stronger connection to your true nature. And if you're able to feel that right now, then you see there's nothing to worry about, there's nothing to be fearful about, there's nothing to actually let go or miss, or anything we just worked on doesn't exist anyways there. It's just the holdings in the system. But in that space, there's just clarity, openness. Everything is so simple, no problems, nothing. And it's enjoyable. Okay, and having that space there. Again, I'm going to increase the surrender level. Yeah, and then right away, there's so much more surrender possible. So when you're able to connect to that space, of course, yourself as well. For most people, it will be the easiest to do it in meditation. And then just knowing that in that space, the surrender is so simple. And surrender is something that needs practice. Or, of course, if you have access to that space in meditation or also outside of meditation, it's just there anyways for that time. But eventually, it's just there all the time. So even if things are occurring that you don't prefer and that you don't like and all of that, you fully surrendered at the same time. It's fascinating. Okay, I fill up your energy field with high vibrational healing energies, love, light, truth, trust, joy, abundance, and health. Okay, we are finished. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Eva and today I'm going to share with you what Next Elevation is all about. So basically the idea for Next Elevation came up already a few months ago. I'm working with high vibrational divine energies and I can transmit them to people. This just started to happen for me after a lot of years of spiritual practice, of meditation, of personal growth. This opportunity or this possibility just started to come in. So I've been doing that for a while, but it always is me that is transmitting this energy to people. And a transmission, by the way, is information. So it's light, a transmission is light, and light is pure information, so higher information. And this higher information comes into our system, into our bodies, and our bodies understands that on a cellular level and can start changing towards that higher information on a cellular level. So basically the transmission I work with contains the information of the highest truth. So when you're exposed to that, it will help you to find your personal highest truth and also unlock your highest potential that you have. It's already there. And with this project, the possibility came up to connect to this energy directly, to this transmission directly, and it doesn't need me. So basically what you can do is here we have different services. So at the moment, so we're gonna expand them later on, but at the moment we have a service for you, for your pet, and for your apartment or business, so for the location of that. And what we are doing is we connect you to this high vibrational divine light. And what is it doing? So basically it brings you more alignment with your life, with what's there for you, what you're supposed to experience, what your soul plan is, and with your true nature. So basically just life becomes more, you become more aligned with your life experience, and with life and with your highest truth. So the experience of life just will change. It will get a lot more effortless, a lot more joyful. You will feel more vital, healthier. There's just more well-being. There is more clarity, more openness, more understanding for your limitations or things that are not serving you anymore, so that you can let go of them. So it doesn't matter what it is, because we do a lot of things that we think we need to do, but they don't feel so aligned, right? For example, a job, or we hang out with certain people, or we have certain friends, or we live in a certain country where we actually feel like, okay, it doesn't feel in alignment with us, but we are here because, for example, we learned it. We've been with these people for so many years, so we have to continue being here, so conditioning from society, school, parents, whatever. So these are all basically limiting us, and they are separating us from following our personal highest truth. And the transmission will just help you to connect to your personal highest truth, and you will realize over time what is not serving you. You can let this go, and it will show you what's serving you, what's in alignment for your life experience. And these things will just start to come in. So you basically just need to say yes to them, because they start to come in. Opportunities, people, whatever it is. So yeah, overall, it's all about being aligned with life. And if that's happening, life is just a lot more effortless and a lot more enjoyable. And this is what we want to help you with here. And it's all about experiencing that. So when you sign up, for example, for the 7-day trial, I would recommend you doing that just to get a taste of what we offer. Some people feel the changes right away. So they feel right away more joy, more uplifted, have a more positive outlook on life. It's easier to get up in the morning, more motivated, even like, start doing sports or something they wouldn't have done before. Or when you already do sports, just perform better. So just everything gets more positive. What it is though, it's unfolding over a certain amount of time. So it's a process. So when you're exposed to these lights, it starts. And then it's just unfolding. So life gets better and better and better. It's not something that, happens from one day to the other. It's all about the unfolding, experiencing the process. So when you subscribe to the 7-day trial, I can recommend you. So also I want to say, some people are energetically sensitive. You might feel the energy coming in. It feels actually very nice. It's like a tingling in every cell of your body, and it feels cozy and warm and beautiful. If you don't feel it, don't worry, it's still happening. And yeah, just see for yourself when you experience the 7-day trial, what is changing. Are things easier? Are opportunities coming in? Are things falling away where they're not serving you anymore? So what's happening? Observe yourself. Do you feel more uplifted? Yeah. So this is the little video and the little introduction. Thank you so much for watching. I would just recommend try it for yourself and then see what happens. Okay, enjoy. Bye-bye.